back to my channel, welcome back to another video. So in today's video we'll be discussing, like, is going to university still worth it in 2024? Like, at this point in time, is it still worth it? So basically we're just going to see, like, is it worth the money, the time, the effort, all that stuff. So if you're interested in this, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let us get into it. Also, go ahead and subscribe to Breeze Adventure on YouTube, and let's begin. So, university, is it still worth it in this year? So basically, with everything, it has pros and cons. So I'll just be going through the pros and the cons, and yeah, then we're going to see if it's still worth it. In my personal opinion, before we get into the pros and the cons, for me, I think it's still worth it, right? Going to university is still worth it. It's still necessary, in my opinion. And when I go through the points, both the cons and both the pros, you'll see why I say this, Callie. So we're gonna start with the cons then first, or pros. Let's start with the cons then. Let's start with the disadvantages first, and then we get into the advantages. So the biggest disadvantage of going to university, quote unquote, is, you say, the high tuition fees, right? So the high tuition fees will literally kill you. University is expensive, and most people take out student loans in order to pay them. And basically, the type of students loan that they usually take is that they don't pay anything while they're doing a degree, and then afterwards they pay back little by little, and usually at an interest rate. So if you're thinking to yourself, is going to university still worth it, like in this day and age, you probably look funny and say, alright, the school fee high, tuition fee high, and you're probably going to take student loan, or you're going to probably have to depend on scholarship. So this would be like the biggest disadvantage, quote unquote, is that you have to find funding from somewhere in order to pay the expensive school fee, basically. But it's usually scholarship, student loan, or some students work while you go to school. So this is probably the biggest hindrance to students not going to college. Like, them look finance and it's too expensive, or their parents cannot afford it, the family cannot afford it, they come from a poor background, or basically they just don't have it. And even quote unquote middle class people struggle to pay tuition fees for college. Like, in order to send them to school and something, more than likely it's still would go back to a student loan. So that's basically the biggest disadvantage to university, is that it's a high tuition fee. More than likely you've got to go student loan, and after you graduate you have to spend a couple good years to pay back the student loan. So that's basically the biggest disadvantage. The next thing is that usually when students are going to college, there's usually stress in the family, and it actually goes back to the financial issues. Basically, when it's a situation where if the student chooses not to take a student loan, and basically they might try to work, everybody in their family at work, everybody I put towards little towards it, and I try, alright, we're gonna make this work in a student loan. It's usually a stressful situation, and people start blame people start get upset with people, basically everybody temper start flare, and basically the stress can really kind of like start to strain the family in that situation over money, because it's not just tuition fees, especially if it's not where you live, basically the college there, university there. Then it means you have to pay some kind of dorm fees or some housing fees, so that's another thing to consider. Or the person will have to travel to school every day, basically. So that's a whole another situation, but it usually causes stress in the family, and it causes the family to have disagreements, to have just overall problems, basically. So the main thing and everything basically lead back to the financial aspect. So by now you probably realize, listen, the financial aspect is the biggest downside to going to university. The student loans, the expensive money, and all that stuff. So with certain students now, depending on what you're going to college or / university to study, you might not be able to get a job with it. So basically it means that you might not be able to work while you're going to school, because certain degree programs are so demanding that it absolutely makes no sense to be working while you go to school. It just won't work out. some courses or some degrees basically 5 days a week, 8 to 4, them have them, or 8 to 5, them have their book out, them have things you do. And it's like, where you gonna find time to get a job with all of that busy schedule and all that stuff? So some people, getting a job is not even an option. And as I said before, the main hindrance or the main thing that would stop somebody from going to college is money. Money is basically the biggest problem, and it leads to the other problems in the family as well. Basically, that's basically the biggest disadvantages there, is that it might cause family issues, family disagreements, and all that stuff, and student loans and all that stuff. So that's basically the biggest disadvantage right there. But why should you go to university? Why should you kind of like risk it or whatever? Right? There are certain basically, depending on your career goal, it requires a degree. Like certain professions, like a doctor, nurse, teacher, lawyer, you have to go to school for it. You can't just not go to school and find another route in order to get there. So it means that you have to go get the degree regardless. So if you know that the goal you have needs education, it needs it. It's not you don't want it, it needs it. Then you know that you literally have no choice. You have to go get the scholarship, take out the student loan, beg people to pay it, borrow money, do something. So basically, if you know that basically what you want to study is very degree, basically you need a degree, and you know that there's no other way to get there other than getting that degree, then definitely worth it for you. Take the chance and go to university. Okay. Also, the next thing too is that according to society, when you have a degree, it's kind of seen as a sign of quote-unquote respect. They see you as being educated, and I don't know if anybody ever realized, but if you ever out a road or you realize, say, I'll speak specifically about Jamaica. If I realize that when certain people in a certain professions, they get certain privileges. Like for example, if you're somewhere and you might see a doctor walking, everybody might just make the doctor cut the line, or even the person who work there, we allow the doctor to just come up and do whatever quick and fast and leave. Or if it's a nurse or it's a teacher, you realize that people treat educated people differently. That's basically one of the classism situation we have going in Jamaica now. That basically, depending on your quote-unquote education status, your background or your class, whatever, but once you're educated, they see you of a kind of like a higher class in Jamaica if you have like a university education. So for example, the way how you have a man right out the road and he might talk to, send us meet a lady on the road or something, and he might talk to her anyhow. If he might talk to somebody who's a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, you think he might go use the same? He will not use the same tone. There's a different treatment given to people who are educated. It's sad that people treat people like this, but it's honestly what happens in Jamaica right now. If you're not educated, or if you don't have a degree, or if you don't go to school, people treat you differently, and that's just the honest truth. But most important is that once you have a degree, you have kind of like a more opportunity for advancement, and you have more opportunities to go overseas, right? Everybody basically know about the teaching program. Teachers them can work in Jamaica little and then they can leave. You also know about the nursing program, which the US, the UK, Canada, they might take with the nurses them like crazy. So once you have an education, it gives you more opportunity. So if you put aside student loans, if you put aside the scholarship, if you put aside the high tuition fees, it opens more doors. Who don't want more doors open for them? Everybody want more opportunity, and that is how I look at life. The more opportunity, the more options I have, is the better. Because me as a person, like if my head chip and say bop bop bop, we kinda done with this now, something else. Me need to have the opportunity, or me need to have the options to get move, do what I want to do, basically. So that is it. You have more opportunities when you get a degree. When you don't have a degree, or you choose not to go to school, you can find a way, don't get me wrong. You don't have to go to school to be successful. I should have said it at the front of the video. You do not have to go to school to be successful. Success is not just defined by your education or if you got to school. That is not the success, right? Success is whatever you make it to be, right? So I'm not saying that you have to go to school to be successful, but in this society and this day and age, it's best to give yourself the best chance at life, to succeed in life. And what I realize is that when you don't have an education, it makes things hard. It's not impossible. Many people have been successful without a degree. But as I said, the way how life set up and the world set up, they make it harder when you don't have a degree. And even when you get the degree, sometimes there's uncertainty that, listen, you might not get a job in your field. But at the same time, it's still a good start. Right? It's still a good start. There's more opportunity for advancement, for overseas work, for different career paths, different jobs. Basically, you give yourself more opportunity when you go to school. That is it. And as I said before, the whole classism situation we have in Jamaica right now, you see, if you understand, like, this is how society run now. For me personally, we don't want to go to road and anybody talk to me any type of way. That is one thing, not gonna lie, and it's unfair, right? So for me, I try to put myself in the best situation, right? It's not fair to look down on people as oh because they never got school or because they never this and never that. But at the end of the day, in this day and age, if you have the opportunity, not everybody gonna have the opportunity to go to school. That's the honest truth. Not everybody gonna have the opportunity. But if you have the opportunity and you can go and make the best use of it, go and do something with your life, quote unquote. But in my opinion, going to university is worth it if you have the opportunity. If you have the opportunity, take it. Don't waste time. Don't waste money. Don't waste effort. Right? Do what you need to do to get the degree, basically. Right? So when the obstacles then, whether it be finances or even when you struggle with courses and all that stuff, try to overcome it and seek help and all that stuff. Basically, my final opinion is that it's still worth it to go to university in this day and age. For certain degrees, like become a doctor, nurse, teacher, lawyer, even human resource. Basically, there's many career paths out there, right? But for the real professional, like practical ones, like certain medical degrees and stuff, you need a degree. So if that is your goal, do what can get you closer to your goal. That's my advice. Do what can get you closer to your goal, right? Basically, that's it for me. University is still worth it in this day and age. I'm also having like university consultations thing. So basically, it's really to help you decide on a university, to help you decide and basically know your options for university/college. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and email me at Toni-Ashlaay. And basically it's like a consultation session, so we just talk about your educational goals, what university would best match those goals, your budget and all that stuff. But anyway guys, that's the end of today's video. Go ahead and like, comment, share and subscribe, and comment down below, do you think that university is still worth it today, yes or no? Bye guys.